Hey Astro Kids, and welcome back. So I have not been able to make a video for a few days now as I have been feeling under the weather, and I'm finally coming out of it now. My guides were telling me to get some more sleep. So this is another lesson. As we're coming into the new year, a lot of people coming in to these big lessons of what has to go, what has to come in, these new things coming into the picture. And today we're going to take a look at today's birth chart, as well as we're going to pick from the tarot, the Connolly Tarot deck, and see what we get for today. So first of all, looking at this chart, we see this huge stellium here in Capricorn. And we see Saturn and Pluto getting closer and closer together now. They're about halfway apart from each other now. So very, very close. About half a degree. We see that the Sun, Mercury, and Jupiter are all making this aspect over to the North Node in Cancer. So now we are in this space where all of these Capricorn lessons are starting to build up. They're starting to come to their full completion point now. So we've been in this energy for a while, this buildup of this Capricorn, of learning how to put the time, the work, the effort in to do what is necessary to get to the top, to your best position, to climb up in your life, to cross that finish line. So this is a big story that is building now. We see Jupiter very, very close here to Mercury. And it's interesting because Jupiter and Mercury are opposites, right? Jupiter wants to expand, to see the bigger picture, to connect to something spiritual, something greater, something higher, bringing in this abundance. Mercury looking at the smaller picture, going into the details, analyzing, observing, getting all of the information, the data, the facts. And the Sun here as well. Sun is not so happy in Capricorn, as the Sun has to be more strict, more disciplined. And the Sun is all about this pure expression of self, right? This happiness, this joy, this pride. And so very, very intense energy, very serious, very strong, very focused, very determined. This is about us accomplishing our best lives. And this is the most Capricorn that we have seen in our lives. So this is huge, as this is helping us move forward into our passions, into what we want to accomplish and succeed in life. This is huge. And Saturn and Pluto getting closer together. Saturn and Pluto coming into this conjunction. If you want to check out the video that's all about that, go ahead, feel free. There's a whole video outlining what this Saturn and Pluto conjunction is going to be like. We're going to see this on January 12th, so coming up very shortly. But with this energy, Saturn is here trying to set new structures, new boundaries, discipline. Pluto trying to transform us, breaking down things in our lives. And of course, Uranus in Taurus is breaking down things as well. And Uranus in Taurus is shortly coming out of its retrograde here on January 10th, where things are going to start to come back into forward motion. We're starting to realize the things that are of true value, of true worth to us. We're starting to realize the relationships that matter, that elevate us, take us to a higher level. So big change in relationships and values and worth, as the universe is trying to elevate us, take us to a higher position of the things that work better for us, the things that are more aligned with our souls, the things that are more connected to who we are. And it's all a part of this big destiny point of this North Node in Cancer, right? Cancer being about home, being about connection, emotion, of What are you emotionally and divinely connected to? That is where this destiny point of this North Node is leading us. And of course, the South Node back in Capricorn with this major stellium trying to teach us, trying to help us learn how to break down these old structures and systems and learn how to put new structures and systems that work better for us. Learning how to transform, how to change, how to learn and grow from hard work and discipline, and from these new structures and systems and these new positions that we put ourselves in fully to grow and to expand and to climb higher in our lives. So this is putting us in a whole new dimensional frequency. This is us raising our vibration, going to the next level. And so again, I'm going to say this as the time has pretty much passed for this, but I think that it's important to bring this to your attention, is that if you are going back into the past, redoing old cycles, old phases of things that you know that don't serve you, that don't benefit you in your life, that this is going to be the most challenging point in your life, because the universe is trying to elevate you. It's trying to break down the things that don't serve you, the things that don't connect fully and integrate with your soul of who you truly are and of this better life that Spirit is trying to build for you as we speak. And this is huge for relationships. We're seeing a lot with relationships, right? Venus is in Aquarius, trying to elevate us, push us into something different, something unique, something that is on our frequency, our wavelength. And it's making this aspect over to the moon in Taurus, where the moon is exalted in Taurus. So the moon's very happy right now as it's in Taurus. It's in this space of being calm, being stable, being relaxed. But there's something big here where this moon in Taurus, Taurus energy also dealing with relationships, dealing with security, connection of what is of value, what is of worth to you. And Uranus is in there, where it's also trying to elevate us in terms of relationships, in terms of what we're connected to, what we value, what is worth it to us, where we find our security, what we are attached to. And the moon here, dealing with emotions, dealing with connection. There's this big thing about relationships now where we are changing the frequency of the relationships that we make, that we keep in our lives, that we're making sure now that they are on the same frequency, the same wavelength. And if you are not doing this in your life, if you're staying in a relationship that doesn't serve you, that is toxic for you, this is where things are going to become more challenging, because the universe and Spirit is conspiring to make sure that we are elevating the way that we look at relationships in our lives. This is huge. And Mars, now in Sagittarius, right? First big transit of the year was Mars moving into Sagittarius on January 3rd. This is shifting our passion. This is shifting the direction of our energy, our passion that we are putting into this whole mission. That this Mars in Sagittarius is about opening big doorways. It is about taking on the journey, the adventure, to do something big in your life, to do what you hope for, what you wish for, to accomplish something huge. And so if you are not willing to be open to the opportunity to move forward with this passion, this desire, this strength, to push for what you want, for what you wish, for what you hope, for what you want to see yourself accomplish in this life, this is where major blocks are going to be in your way, because this is your moment, especially with Mars having to go through some challenging positions throughout this year, that Mars, as it goes through Sagittarius, Capricorn, and Aquarius, these are going to be the most beneficial placements of Mars here. So this first half of the year is your time to make these Mars actions, to push forward, to go after your drive, your passion in life, because as Mars comes into Pisces, things are going to become more challenging. As Mars gets very confused in Pisces, very lost, not a ton of passion, not a ton of drive, a lot of wishing, a lot of hoping, a lot of getting caught up in the fantasy. And following that, Mars is going to end up in its last placement of Aries for the year, where it is going to go retrograde. And so even though Mars is in its most powerful position here in Aries, it is going to go retrograde, where it's going to bring up major lessons. It's going to bring up major blockages, major stoppages in your life for you to learn some very challenging lessons about how to be patient in your life, about waiting for things to come to you. And so right now, this first half of the year is the most beneficial moment to use this Mars energy, to go after what you want, for what you strive for, because things will become more challenging as Mars enters Pisces and goes into its retrograde in Aries. Now, Neptune is also here in Pisces, and this Neptune energy you want to be careful of, because this is showing us the fairy tale. It's showing us what's beautiful, what's magical, and that's great. But there's also this part of it where, are you really attached to reality? Are you really seeing what is realistic, what is practical, what makes sense, what is logical? Or are you just seeing a fairy tale? Are you just seeing a fantasy? Are you just seeing what you want to believe? And there's something big about this year being 2020, that this is such a realistic year. This is a huge year where you really want to focus on reality. You really want to see things for what they are, because this year is big about turning your hopes and dreams into reality. There's something big here, though, that the intention, the hopes, the wish, the dreams, if you cannot make a realistic plan and move that into something that is realistic, practical, logical, that makes sense, actually do the work, put the time, the effort in, then it's not going to happen, right? With this Jupiter and Capricorn story, this is the most difficult. Jupiter is in its fall position, in its weakest position, where Jupiter is saying, if you have the vision, you have to put the time, the effort, the work in. You have to be willing to do what it takes to cross the finish line. There's no more of this Jupiter Sagittarius story where we're having these magical moments of things just coming to you. Now it is time for you to put the work in, put the effort in, put the time in. And we saw this a lot when Mars was going through Scorpio. This was a big lesson. And remember that Mercury went retrograde in Scorpio. So we saw a lot of lessons here in Scorpio where we had to go deep. We had to go through hardship. We had to face the inner workings, our fears, push through to get to where we are now. And so if you are a person who has not done that inner work, who has not gone in and face the reality, who has not pushed through the challenges, this is where this year becomes very difficult, because this is a year of pushing through your challenges. This is a year of making your dreams a reality. This is a year of seeing things for what they really are. A lot of information, a lot of truth coming to the light here in 2020. So if you are not able to face the truth, this is going to be a difficult year for you. And we don't see it on this chart, but Chiron is also in Aries. It will remain there for a very long time now, right? We saw Chiron go into Aries. We saw it go retrograde. We're going to see it go retrograde again this year. Big lessons about self. Big lessons about attachments to self. How do you see your identity? What are the attachments to your identity? What does your identity look like? And a lot of these old identities, these old attachments to identity, this old way of seeing self-esteem, self-worth, of seeing who you are very much changing, very much being broken down. And so there's new stories about who you are that better are aligned with who you truly are. Not just this false sense of identity, but who are you really? And so this whole thing about identity is being broken down. This whole thing about ego being shifted, being changed. And look at all this Capricorn that is making aspects to the moon, right? That is making aspects to Neptune. That is making aspects. We're seeing all these little tight aspects. We're even seeing Mars make this aspect to Uranus. This tight little window of aspects where this is huge. A lot of work needs to be done. A lot. We're seeing it from Sagittarius all the way to Cancer, right? About this adventure in Sagittarius. About this work, this status, this position, this reputation in Capricorn. About this evolution, this unity, this friendship in Aquarius. About these hopes, these dreams, these wishes in Pisces. About this identity, about this expression of self in Aries. About values, worth, relationships in Taurus. About even the way that we think and communicate. Remember that Mercury is more happy here in Capricorn as we're sort of going through this tight transition. The Gemini doesn't really have much going on, but it's caught in between here. And there's something big about this Mercury story and Capricorn where it is teaching us to think and communicate in a more systematic, more structured way to achieve our goals, to cross that finish line. And about the way that we connect, the things that we're emotionally attached to, this connection to home. Remember that home is what is in the heart, not about a building. And so there's this big tight window of these aspects from all of these stories in our lives that this is everything that we need to work on. This is huge. When you have all of these tight aspects, this is a huge story about a lot of work that needs to be done in your life. And so we're at this point now where we've come out of this challenging moment. It's getting more intense. It's getting tighter. It's getting more concrete, more structured, as there's more to learn, there's more to go through, as shortly we're going to see this huge full moon prenumbal lunar eclipse in Cancer on the 10th. We're going to see Uranus come direct on the 10th. We're going to see Pluto-Saturn conjunction on the 12th. So big major lessons that are coming up, right? And we're still in eclipse season. We're still in this weird time of things not necessarily going our way, sort of these weird events happening, right? The universe trying to move us in a certain direction. So not a ton that we can do right now. We're sort of caught in this reflection period. We're sort of caught in this period of needing to go with the flow of the universe, needing to allow things to go into motion. Not a whole lot that we can control, that we can sort of do at this point, as the universe is trying to move us in this direction. And the more that we go with the flow, the more that we accept what Spirit has for us, the more that we become aligned with this destiny, with this direction that we are headed in our lives. So we're going to take a look and see what we get today as far as the tarot. And thanks so much for watching. If you're enjoying this, don't forget to smash the like button. If you're new to this channel, my name is Daquan Jones, psychic and astrologer. Thanks so much if you have watched this far into the video. Make sure you hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any new content. And feel free to leave a comment as well as sharing this out. Okay, so for today, we get two cards, very powerful cards here. We get the High Priestess in reverse. And so, when we see the High Priestess in reverse, there's something big about secrets. There's something big about things that are hidden, things that we're trying to hide away. And there's something big here about, are you hiding your gifts? Are you hiding your talents? Are you hiding your self-worth, your value, the very essence of who you are? Because this is time for you to express your gifts. This is time for you to help inspire others. This is time for you to stand in your path to be who you are and to fully integrate into your best life possible. This is your time to be the best version of who you are. And then we get the Emperor, which of course, once again, major time for you to stand in your power, to claim your role, your position. This card, very Aries, very Capricorn, about taking your position, taking your role, standing up, being who you are, standing in that authority, that position, that role. So this is huge about who are you? What are you passionate about? What is your strength? Right? What is it about you that you are willing to show to the world that this is your time to stand in your power, to stand as who you are? So that is your horoscope for January 5th, 2020. I hope you all enjoyed. Once again, if you are new to this channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any new content. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to smash the like button as well as leaving a comment down below. And I will see you all in the next video. I hope you're all having a great new year. And peace and much love to everyone. Have a great day.